there will be combined effect of the drugs. What happens when two or more drugs are given simultaneously to an individual, or they may be either indifferent to each other or exhibit the synergism, antagonism, and many more terminologies are here. So, whenever you administer two drugs simultaneously, in many situations we will come under this type of the conditions. We have to include two or more drugs simultaneously. Then what will be the effect of the combined effect of these particular drugs? That we'll see. It will be either what you call as this. Suppose if you are injecting the drug or administering the drug, different drugs at the simultaneously, then we may get the addition effect, potentiation effect, synergism effect, and antagonism. That's known as the drug interaction. Drug interaction always happen whenever you are going to combine two or more drugs together to a patient. Then there will be addition, potentiation, synergism, and antagonism. All these terminologies need to be remembered very properly, because these will come in definitely in case of the examination, maybe internal or external. So please note down all these things. So what is an addition? Addition means adding, simply adding together. So the definition wise, the combined effect of two drugs, need not be a two drugs, more than two drugs also, given together is equal to the magnitude to the sum of effect of each drug given alone, is called as the addition, and the effect produced is called as additive effect, not the additive effect. So this simply what we can say is, if drug A has got the X effect and drug B has got Y effect, means Y type of the effect. And if you combine the drug A and B, then you will get the XY effect, means it is equal to the combination of the two drugs. The additive effect is produced mainly when two drugs administered together have similar mechanism of action. Usually this is followed. If it is an antibiotic, two drugs are compound. Then if it is a anti-inflammatory, two drugs may be administered. So this is usually the mechanism of the action should be same. For example, here two organophosphorus insecticides. So the organophosphorus insecticides are the common insecticides, cause the toxicity in the animals by inhibiting the acetylcholine esterase enzyme irreversibly. So the organophosphorus compound will cause toxicity in case of the pest, maybe an insect. Then they will have the similar mechanism of action, that's the going to inhibit the acetylcholine esterase enzyme. Whereas the combination of these two OPC compounds will have additive cholinesterase inhibition. The combination of two sulfonamides, for example, two or more sulfonamides like sulfadizine, sulfamerazine plus sulfamethoxine, produces additive antibacterial effect. This will be equal to that of the simple summation. That means 1 plus 1. Suppose a drug is having 1 efficacy, then B is what? 1 efficacy, total efficacy will be 2. 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. This is known as the additive action. Then another action is potentiation action. Potentiation. So please read this thing. When one drug having no effect or some effect on its own increases the pharmacological effect of another drug, the drug interaction is called as potentiation, and the effect is produced is called as potentiative effect. So here the drug A has got no or very less pharmacological effect, whereas the drug B has got the pharmacological effect, and the drug A increases the pharmacological effect of the drug B. That's known as the potentiation. The potentiation effect is seen mainly when one drug having no effect of its own. It has not got its own effect, but it has got some effect, not the required effect. So that's how the things go here. Then carbidopa, example, the potentiating effect is usually what you call as the potentiating effect is seen mainly when one drug is having no effect of its own, enhances the concentration of the other drug at its site of the action by increasing its absorption or by decreasing its elimination. That means more and more quantity of the drug will be present in the site of the action. So potentiation is the thing, means the original drug A, one drug has not got any therapeutic effect, whereas it is going to either increase the absorption or decrease its elimination. The example is carbidopa enhances the central effect of levodopa by increasing the peripheral metabolism. This is suppose if you want to get some analgesic, no, this what you call as the depressive activity, then carbidopa is administered along with the levodopa. Means the carbidopa is not having the very much activity, whereas the levodopa has got the effective activity on the dopaminergic receptors. So here the carbidopa enhances the levodopa by decreasing its metabolism. Here, suppose the dopa decarboxylase enzyme inhibitor. So it inhibits the enzymes, then the metabolism of the levodopa will be decreased and activity will be increased. The another example is probenecid is combined with the penicillins. Usually probenecid is a inert substance, means it is not having the specific pharmacological response, but it is combined with the penicillins so that it decreases the renal excretion of the penicillins, and penicillins stay more and more time in the body and do their action. That's known as the potentiation action. Another example, clavulanic acid. Usually this is combined. It's also known as augmentin. Many of you who have consumed the augmentin tablet, so this will have the combined effect. Clavulanic acid increases antibacterial efficacy of the amoxicillin by causing inhibition of the beta-lactamase enzymes. So beta-lactamase enzyme is the one, it is going to what you call as destroy the penicillins. Amoxicillin is also a broad spectrum penicillin. So this, if you administer the clavulanic acid with the amoxicillin, then the beta-lactamase enzyme will be inhibited and the amoxicillin will act with more potentiation. Whereas the monoamine oxidase inhibitor, MAO means monoamine oxidase inhibitors. So this monoamine oxidase is also an important enzyme that's involved in the breakdown of norepinephrine to the further products and makes it ineffective. So the tranylcypromine is a monoamine oxidase inhibitor, enhances the anti-hypertensive effect of the catecholamines. Usually the catecholamines are going to act on the different tissue receptors. Maybe they are going to act on the peripheral alpha-2 receptors and the beta receptors on the heart. So catecholamines, ultimately they are going to cause this anti-hypertensive action, means hypotensive action. So this is going to be increased by MAO inhibitors. Then another term known as the synergism. Potentiation addition means 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. Here, in case of this particular potentiation, 1 plus 1 is more than 2. When the combined effect of a drug is greater than magnitude of the sum of that particular effect, that's known as it's called as synergism. Synergism, when combined effect A plus B is greater than AB or 1 plus 1 more than 2 is known as the synergism. Synergistic interactions occur when combined effect of two drugs is greater than the sum of each drug's individual activity. Here, suppose if drug A and drug B are there and both are acting on the particular, what you call as the individual, then synergistic effect occur when effect of these two drugs is greater than the sum of the drugs individual activity. That's known as synergistic activity. So the synergistic activity, once again, we can give many examples to make it more and more clarity. The action of one drug is increased by the another drug. So there are combination of the two drugs by same mechanism. Here the two drug should have same mechanism of action. Aspirin and codeine, they are combined together, whereas the aspirin has got the prostaglandin inhibition activity, whereas the analgesic activity will be obtained by the inhibition of cyclooxygenase enzyme, whereas the codeine is having the effect on the morphine receptor. So both have got the analgesic activity in different type, whereas when they are combined, there will be more and more analgesic activity. It's also known as synergism is also known as supra-additive activity, and here 1 plus 1 is equal to 3 or more than 2. Usually it will be more than 2. The combined effect of two drugs is higher here than the individual effect. Whenever you combine with the sulfamethoxazole plus trimethoprim, an antibacterial agent, sulfamethoxazole and trimethoprim, it's also known as cotrimazole. So the total effect will be more than the sulfamethoxazole alone or trimethoprim alone. And the levodopa is combined with that of the carbidopa. This is the synergism. So to simplify this further, action of a drug A and drug B is together greater than the sum of the individual activity. Whereas here you can give the one of the example is there, aspirin has got blood thinning effect or anticoagulation mechanism in case of the blood, whereas clopidogrel, it's also got 30% blood thinning effect, whereas whenever we combine both of together, then we will get 90% blood thinning effect. Whereas combination of 30 means 30, it should have been 60, but instead of 60, it is 90% action is obtained. That's known as the synergism type. And another example in case of toxicology need to be given is the carbon tetrachloride. It's a highly hepatotoxic, and ethanol is also hepatotoxic. Both of these are hepatotoxicants, but together they produce much more injury to the liver. At the same time, they will cause the more and more liver injury. Whereas another example of this category is sulfamethoxazole. Same thing is given earlier also. The trimethoprim are the bacteriostatic agents. Both are bacteriostatic agents, but their combination produce a synergistic bactericidal. The difference between static and cidal is static is going to arrest the growth of the bacteria, whereas the cidal is going to kill the bacteria. Means static means suppose some enzymes are inhibited, some very crucial this thing reaction is inhibited, especially whenever you use sulfamethoxazole, the bacterial growth is arrested, but bacteria will not be going to killed, whereas the penicillins has got the bactericidal effect, or the trimethoprim has got bactericidal effect. So if you combine both of these things, the effect will be very high. This is about the synergism. Now we'll go to the what you call as the antagonism is concerned. Antagonism is the one when one drug decreases or abolishes the action of another drug. Here there are two drugs will be present or more than two drugs will be present, and effect of one drug will be inhibited by the another drug. That's known as the drug antagonism. So effect of drug A plus B. If drug A and B is they are combined, and the effect will be lesser than the combined effect of the drug A and B. So this is the antagonism, means here decreased response to a drug is obtained in presence of another drug. That is known as the antagonism. These effects are classified into four types. That's one. The first one is the physical antagonism, then the chemical antagonism, physiological antagonism, then pharmacological antagonism or antagonists. So once again, to repeat, physical, chemical, physiological and pharmacological type of the antagonisms are present. That's the four types. Now we will see what is a physical antagonism based on physical property of the drug. That's known as the physical antagonism. Here the effect of X drug will be decreased in presence of a Y drug, and Y drug will physically interact with the drug X. That's known as the physical antagonism. To come up with a classical example is charcoal or activated charcoal. Here you have to use the word very carefully. That's activated charcoal. Adsorbs, not absorbs. Please check the spelling. ADSORBS. Alkaloids and can prevent their absorption used in alkaloid poisoning. In many type of the alkaloid poisoning, you can see that activated charcoal is going to adhere or absorb alkaloids and prevent their absorption used in alkaloid poisoning. That's the classical example. Whereas the chemical antagonism, two drugs react chemically and form an inactive product. Whereas in the earlier thing, there's the physical antagonism. What happens is the physical property, activated charcoal, is going to absorb alkaloids and decreases the toxicity. Whereas in case of chemical antagonism, two drugs are going to react and produce a chemically inactive substance. That's known as the chemical antagonism. The examples of this category are the KMNO4 or potassium permanganate. We are very commonly used in the antiseptic, and also sometimes if the dose is more, it is disinfectant. So the antiseptic activity of KMNO4 is used for gastric lavagine poisoning. KMNO4 oxidizes the alkaloids, especially many alkaloids are there, so they are going to oxidize it, and there is a formation of the inactive product, especially in case of the gastric lavage. What's a gastric lavage? Lavage means insertion of a liquid substance inside the body of an animal, then take it out. Especially in the they are going to insert certain inert material inside the stomach, then take it out, so that the quantity of the drug is in presence of the stomach, which is in the stomach, it is going to be reduced and the toxicity will be reduced. Especially this type of the treatment is followed in case of the toxicities only. So you are going to administer the potassium permanganate, and along with the alkaloids, it's going to form certain substances, and these are not so active, and that's known as the chemical antagonism. Two drugs react chemically and form inactive product. That's known as the chemical antagonism. So the chemical antagonism is also an antagonism where a drug counters the effect of another by simple chemical reaction. It is directly going to have some chemical reaction with that of the other drug, And neutralization of another drug is known as the chemical antagonism. A drug A is going to neutralize the effect of drug B. That's known as the chemical antagonism. Example, once again, calcium sodium editate is to form the insoluble substance complex with arsenic or lead. So in case of lead toxicity, if an animal has suddenly consumed the lead containing paint, then it will suffer from the lead toxicity. So the antidote given is calcium disodium editate. Whereas if you administer this calcium disodium editate, then lead will have a lead calcium disodium editate complex, and it is a water soluble one, get excreted through body. That's known as the chemical antagonism or chemical reaction oriented antagonism. And the physiological antagonism, that is the two drugs acting on different receptors by different mechanisms have opposite effect on the same physiological function. Here there will be a physiological function and two drugs are there, and these two drugs do not have any correlation between their action, but totally the ultimate effect will be decreased to a greater extent. That's known as the physiological antagonism. The example is the glucagon and insulin on the blood sugar. So these have got the effect, the what you call as the opposite effect. Especially insulin is going to what you call as push the glucose inside the cell, whereas the glucagon is the one which is making the fat tissues and many other tissues to convert it into the glucose. So if you administer these drugs together, even though the mechanism is totally different, these have got opposite effect and the same physiological function. Physiological function is here glycemia. So one causes hyperglycemia and the other one is going to cause hypoglycemia. That's known as the physiological antagonism. Then another terminology is also there for the physiological antagonism. It is also known as functional antagonism. Physiological antagonism is also known as functional antagonism. So that's the opposite effect of two drugs on the same function or same physiological function. So two drugs act on two different type of the receptors and antagonize the action. Ultimately they are going to antagonize the action, outcoming action. So blood sugar level will be decreased by insulin, whereas if you administer the glucagon, then the blood sugar shoots up because it is having the different mechanism. Insulin is going to push the side inside, whereas the glucagon is having the what you call as catabolic effect on glucose. Then another terminology is there, pharmacological antagonism is two drugs compete for the same receptor. The antagonist partially or completely prevents the pharmacological agonist effect. So the pharmacological antagonism is competitive and non-competitive type. Pharmacological antagonism is on the same receptor, maybe cholinergic receptor, adrenergic receptor, GABA receptor, or many places. They are competing for the same type of the receptors. So it is known as competitive and reversible, whereas the non-competitive is irreversible. We will see what is this competitive and non-competitive type of the receptors. So the pharmacological antagonist here, it binds to same receptor as that of the agonist does. It occupies the binding site of the receptor and prevents the binding of agonist to the receptor. So here, suppose you are using the drug A on X receptor. Suppose acetylcholine is administered on the muscarinic receptors, the same receptor. Then it is going to increase the peristalsis of the intestine. Then if you administer the atropine, then it is going to compete with that of the acetylcholine and binds to the same type of the receptors, and the pharmacological activity will be reduced. That's known as the pharmacological antagonist. In this way, That's the prevention of activation of a receptor is stopped. Then the competitive antagonism, here the antagonist dissociates rapidly from the receptor. In case of competitive antagonist, the receptor is going to be dissociated very rapidly. The antagonist effect can be overcome by increasing the agonist concentration. Now, at the time, I think you know what is an agonist and an antagonist. So, agonist is the one which is going to combine with that of a particular receptor and elucidate the action, whereas the antagonist is the one which suppresses the action of a drug. So here the bond between the particular drug and the receptor is not so tight or strengthened, whereas it dissociates very rapidly from the receptor. The antagonist effect can be overcome by increasing the dose of the antagonist, agonist or antagonist. So the morphine and naloxone both are the competitive antagonists. So both are there. Morphine is going to competitively inhibit the naloxone. So that's known as the competitive antagonist. So non-competitive means the antagonist dissociates very slowly or not at all from the receptor. The action of the antagonist cannot be overcome by increasing the dose of either agonist or antagonist. So non-competitive is the one. Here the antagonist dissociate very slowly or not at all. It is totally irreversible. Then the action of antagonist cannot be reversed by the agonist concentration.